And the league better hope that Ant never takes it seriously. And I will be upset if Ant doesn't become best player in the game.
I'm going straight to the top. Just put the stack on the clock. I am Ray Allen's a shot. I'm going straight to the top.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Mike here, Sports and the Real podcast, coming at you once again. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Follow on socials. We're on TikTok primarily, Instagram as well. Website, check out the website, sportsandthereal.tv. Stay up with the latest and greatest on what's happening. I appreciate you guys hopping on for a few minutes. 2025 is winding down. I must say, and it's something I've realized for a while. When we were younger, the years would go by slowly, it seemed like. But when you get older and you have kids, the days go by so dang fast. I don't know if it's because we don't have time for ourselves. We're busy running around, work, all these different things. The years go by super fast, man. Feel like it was just, a couple days ago, I was, recording my first episode of for 2025, and now we're at the end of 2025, and a lot has happened, man. Some good, some bad. But appreciate y'all hanging out with me for a few minutes. We're going to talk some college football. Obviously, the playoffs are here. Some NFL. Season was winding down, and then a quick thought on the NBA. I got to get this one out. This might cause a little bit of stir, cause a little bit of a storm on social media, but I got to get this one out because my eyes are telling me something. That's all I got to say. Y'all stay for that one. But let's start with college football playoffs. Alabama redeemed itself. They beat Oklahoma, was it Friday night? And I thought Oklahoma was going to run away with it. Oklahoma looked good to start, and then Alabama just clamped them down, and then Oklahoma has 50 come out with many men, and I knew once that happened, I was like, oh, this game's over. They're not coming back. It's 50? I guess I didn't know this. Many men, like it's something they play at all their games or something like that. I don't know to deal with that. I was like, 50? Dude is too old, looking kind of chubby right now, out of shape. Nah, but seriously though, that game was weird, man. I really thought Oklahoma was going to run away with it. They were playing so well. And then, you know what? Here's what happened. I feel like I said this earlier in the year. John Mateer was put in these Heisman conversations, like he might be up there in the Heisman conversation, and then he gets hurt, and, he comes back and he's not all that good. But the truth is, he probably should have never been in those Heisman conversations to begin with. I guess people thought he was going to be really good this season. He's actually not that good, neither as a runner or a passer. Like, he makes a couple plays here and there, but he's actually not that good, and people had him highly rated. Transferred in. He didn't look good. So once Alabama put the clamps on, it was a wrap. Things just unraveled, started throwing the ball to Alabama. I mean, it didn't look good at all. So now the question is Alabama actually legit? Like, was this a legit win? Some will say yes, because just a couple of weeks ago, they lost to Oklahoma. So they redeemed themselves. But is this really a legit win that you're like, okay, is Alabama for real now? Can they actually go into the next round and win a game? They're playing Indiana. We'll get to that in a bit. I don't know, but this was a good win. Tough win, come from behind. Like I said, I thought Oklahoma was going to run away with it, and they came back. Shout out to Kalen DeBoer for keeping his boys in there, because God knows he's on the hot seat. I know they're talking about, Schefter's talking about him potentially going to Michigan. Sharon Moore is out. if y'all been keeping up with that one, that's a whole separate conversation. Sharon Moore's out of Michigan. They need a coach. And Adam Shepard was like, maybe Kalen's in the conversation for Michigan coach. He's more of a Midwest guy, not really a Southern guy. But, Nick Saban saying the school loves Kalen. I don't know what's going on there. All that stuff is spin. People just throwing things out there, for their own benefit. You don't know who to believe. But that was a really good comeback by Alabama. I wasn't expecting it. I was ready to come on here and talk trash about Alabama. No lie. I ain't even going to front with you. I was ready to come on here and say some stuff. Oh, man, they didn't deserve to be in here. I was going to tell y'all Alabama didn't deserve to be in here. They're SEC biased. They shouldn't have been in there. And they came back and won. So I ain't got nothing to say besides congratulations, fellas. Big time win. Big time comeback. I don't know what happens to Oklahoma. Do they go into the next season with John Mateer? You're not going to win a championship with John Mateer. And I don't know how much eligibility he has left since he's a transfer. He's not going to win you a championship. He's actually going to lose you some games at quarterback. So anyway, that's Alabama, Oklahoma. Good job, Crimson Tide coming back on that one. Next couple of games. So Miami with the big time win, last second joint. I wasn't expecting that. That game was actually. So here's what I'm gonna say to say it nicely. All right, that was some good defense. Good defense was played, but in actuality, both offenses were kind of trash. So if you want to look at it from the positive side, you're going to say this was two really good defenses, and they are. A&M's defense is really good. UM's defense is really good. But truth is, the offenses just aren't good at all. And it made the defenses look better than they are. I know A&M's defense has been great all year. And, they get turnovers, they pressure the quarterback, they do all this stuff. They do. But Miami's offense is just yuck. And A&M's offense is even yuckier. So that game was a tough watch. But if you like what appears to be good defense, maybe you like that game. Sometimes there's good defense when you watch a game like, dang, these offenses are great, but the defenses are right there all the time. Execution is always on point, but the defenses are always there stopping them. And some games you watch, you're like, no, this isn't great execution because even when guys are wide open, the QBs are missing them. And that was the case several times with Miami and A&M. Several times. Cats running wide open, QB missed them. I don't know. I mean, it's college. It's not NFL. You can't really, hold these guys to too high of a standard. But come on. So Miami ends up pulling it out at the last second. Michael Irvin is kissing Mario Cristobal on camera. This dude, Michael Irvin, is too hype. Cats think this dude's still doing the coca, but I don't think it's the coca. I think that's just him. He's just lit all the time. Michael Irvin is just always lit, man. He's not on that stuff no more, man. It's years past. But seriously though, big time win for UM. I thought A&M was going to pull it out, and that just was an unnecessary pass at the end. Again, when I talk about great defense versus offense, that's what I mean. That pass to end the game from A&M wasn't necessary. It was a terrible throw. Dude wasn't open. It's just a terrible throw. I don't know if the play call, I don't know. That game deserved a better ending than that terrible. Like, you can make a great interception, and then you can make that interception. That was just that interception. That wasn't a great interception. That was just bad decision by the quarterback right into the defensive back's hand. So Miami moves on. All right, we'll talk about the next round in a second. Tulane, James Madison, I'm going to combine those games. They're not worth really much conversation. All I'm going to say is this. I know we want to be nice. We want to be inclusive, have everybody up in there, give everybody a chance. But Tulane and James Madison should not have been there in the CFP. And it was proven. And people are going to say, well, Notre Dame and, whoever else was below Notre Dame, they wouldn't have put up a much better fight. We don't know. But we know they got the size, the talent to at least appear to be competitive. At least walking off the bus, walking into, the stadium, they can appear to be like they're going to compete. They may still get blown out. But when you watch James Madison and you watch Tulane, they just look like different leagues, man. And I said it before and I'll say it again. I said it about, early in the year when, teams were scoring 70 points against Southwest, whatever state. I was like, football is too violent of a sport to allow dudes to come get their brain bashed in to make the college some money, the athletic department some money. It's not, that ain't how you do it, man. These kids are getting treated like some animals. I feel like it's the same thing. With Tulane and James Madison. I know there's some money involved, and it's hard to watch Tulane and James Madison and feel like, yeah, these guys should be on the same field as Oregon or on the same field as Ole Miss. It's just too much. The athletic difference is so, the gap is so wide athletically and size, and football is too violent of a sport for Tulane and James Madison to take spots of teams like Notre Dame and whoever else, right, in the CFP. It just is. Because these guys laid it out, 12 weeks, whatever it is, in the season. They're getting beat up. They're hurting themselves. And then for Tulane and James Madison to take their spot just because of, group of five type of setup. Again, I know there's people getting paid. It ain't right. It's not right. They shouldn't have been there. The competitive imbalance is clear. It's significant. The gap is significant. All right, you might as well be playing high school teams. The gap is different. When you watch how big and strong and fast one team is versus the other, I know upsets happen all the time. They can. But I don't know if the CFP is the time to find out if an upset can happen. It's not college basketball. It's not basketball. Basketball, nobody's really getting hurt. Basketball, there's more skill involved. Football is like, we're 300 pounds, you're not 300 pounds. We run 4.2s, you run 5.2s, essentially. They get pushed around, they get run around. It's not a good look. There has to be a better way to get the group of five teams involved. I don't know what it is. But matching up against Ole Miss and Oregon scored like every drive to start the game. Like they could have kept scoring if they wanted to, like 100 points. It's bad. It was bad. Again, when money's involved, people do irrational things. I wish there was a better way to get these group of five schools, whatever money that they're getting now, get it to them a different way. But we need better competition in that first round. Tulane and James Madison, not it. All right, next round, CFP. So here's how it shakes out. We got Oregon and Texas Tech. We got Bama and Indiana. We got Ole Miss and UGA. We got Miami and Ohio State. Listen, my analysis here is going to be pretty straightforward. All right. I think Ohio State takes out Miami. I don't think Miami is going to beat Ohio State. I don't think they have a really good chance at all. Ohio State was the best team in the country for most of the year. They get beat by Indiana. I don't know how great Ohio State is, right? But I know their defense is really good. And I think they're going to make Miami look even worse than they looked last week against Texas Tech. So this game, the Cotton Bowl, it's December 31st, New Year's Eve. Ohio State's going to beat Miami. I don't think this game's going to be that close at all. I think they're going to shut them down. The only way Miami hangs in this game is Julian Sands starts throwing the ball to the other team, which he's liable to do. But I think Ohio State's just too talented. They are. Oregon, Texas Tech. I think this game goes to Oregon, actually. Oregon's actually slightly favored. Looking at Texas Tech's schedule, they didn't really beat anybody that good outside of BYU. All right? Not that Oregon played a bunch of juggernauts, but at least they played a couple cats. You're like, okay, they beat USC. Okay. I think Oregon takes down Texas Tech. Probably a close game, but I think the difference in competition this year will show itself in this game. Oregon right now is slightly favored by 1.5. That game is on New Year's Day. New Year's Day, noon. Alabama, Indiana. Up until Indiana beat Ohio State, I probably would have picked Alabama in the upset, and I wouldn't be surprised if Alabama wins. I would not. But Indiana is actually a better team than I thought, than most people thought. I think Indiana, as the number one seed, they go in there. Their defense is legit. And I think they give Alabama problems. I think they beat Alabama probably by a touchdown or more. I think they're that good. Indiana wins over Alabama. That game is New Year's Day, 4 p.m. This is the game right here. Ole Miss, UGA. I know Lane is gone. Alabama won the first game. But I wouldn't be surprised if this one's another barn burner. UGA's defense has gotten better, no doubt about it. As the season went on, they started to really become like UGA defense that we remember. But Ole Miss still got a squad. Offense scores now. Chambliss got hurt. Trinidad Chambliss did get hurt last game. Assuming he's okay, a couple of weeks off. Assuming he's okay, January 1st, 8 p.m., Georgia's going to win. I think UGA still wins. UGA is going to win because they got a more complete squad. I think their defense is actually legit. I don't know if Ole Miss, as good as Ole Miss looked the other day against Tulane, I don't know if their defense is really that good. All right. So they might still score their points, but at some point, I think UGA clamps. I think UGA takes this one probably by a touchdown or more. It's going to be an interesting game, though. Touchdown or more against Ole Miss. That game's January 1st again, 8 p.m. So again, I'm taking Oregon over Texas Tech. I'm taking Indiana over Bama. Although I wouldn't be surprised if Bama takes it. This is Indiana's first time in that kind of situation. You know, Alabama been there, you know, even though kids go in and out of the school, but that program, you know, they got guys who've been there and done that. I'm taking UGA, and I'm taking Ohio State. That's my pick for the CFP playoffs, next round, quarterfinals. All right, that's enough for college. Let's move on. NFL. The Jacksonville Jaguars are legit. Matter of fact, if I had to pick today, oh my God. If I had to pick today, I think I might take the Jaguars in the AFC. I've switched up. I had Denver. Up until last week, I had Denver. But the Jags exposed Denver, and the Jags probably have the most complete team. They can score, and their defense is real. Their defense is real. They made Bo Nix. I mean, Bo Nix is inconsistent. And that's been my problem with Denver the whole time, is that Bo Nix is inconsistent as hell. But his team's always been able to keep him in the game. His defense keeps him in the game right up until the point, it's time to actually throw a touchdown or two and they win it. Or they're playing a bad team and somehow they, the Giants, and they come back and beat the Giants. But I don't know if Denver can beat a real team in the playoffs like the Jacksonville Jaguars. Or even a team like the Chargers who can also defend and score. So that's been my problem with the Denver Broncos is Bo Nix's inaccuracy is a problem. Some throws he's like, damn. And some throws you're like, damn. He missed them. He gives you both dams. He's like, damn, that's a nice throw. Like, damn, what the hell is he doing? He's both sides of the dam. So I don't know about Denver. I still like them. I still like their defense. But I wouldn't be surprised as in the playoffs when everybody's good that they bow out early. But the Jags, them boys are for real. Trevor Lawrence ain't got to win the game all by himself. They got a complete squad. Their defense is legit. They score when they need to. If I had a pick today, my favorites today, this stuff changes every week, y'all. Forgive me. My favorites today is the Jags, probably followed by Chargers, New England, Buffalo. Those will be my top four. Jags, Chargers, New England, Buffalo. I got New England at 3 because young quarterback still, second year. Got Buffalo at 4 because they're good, but Josh can throw the ball to the other team at any time. He gets in one of those runs where he's hell bent on throwing the ball to the other team, so you can't really trust them. The Chargers right now look legit. I think they've won like 5 straight or something like that. They beat up on the Cowboys, who are once again out of the playoffs. Thank you, Jerry Jones. For such an irrelevant team, they are so relevant. Anyway, that's that. So if I had to pick top 4 of the AFC right now, I'll go Jags, who are legit, offense and defense. Chargers, who are also legit, offense and defense. Patriots, who are also legit, although I don't know if their defense is really as good as these other teams, but they score. Young quarterback. And the Bills, because of Josh Allen, he can go great Josh, he can go not so great Josh. If Josh Allen goes on a run this playoffs, they can win the whole thing. But he can also throw the balls to the other team twice a game, and that's that. But right now I got the Jags. I got the Jags as being legit. They scored at will against the Broncos. The Broncos could not stop the Jaguars. They could not. I was watching that. I watched that whole game. The Broncos could not stop the Jaguars for nothing. They did whatever they wanted. And their defense stepped up big time. That's recipe for success to me. I hate to say it, but the Jaguars might be the number 1 seed going into the playoffs for the AFC. NFC. The NFC West is going to somehow win the NFC. What are the 3 NFC West teams? Rams, San Fran, Seattle. And right now, Seattle's in the driver's seat. They look legit. And I usually, when I'm watching a game, right, I usually don't, especially against 2 good teams, I usually don't go to sleep early. Like if I'll struggle and finish watching a game. But I went to sleep early in that Seattle Rams game, and it turns out I missed a great ending. So as a result, the Seahawks now got 12 wins, 3 losses. They look legit. Even though Sam Darnold didn't look all that great against the Rams, but their defense keeps them in the game. And for the most part, against most teams, they're going to score. The Rams just happen to have a really good defense, and, they turn Darnold over. But they're going to score. Darnold, JSN, them boys, running game, they got a complete squad too. So the Seahawks, might take the whole thing in the NFC. I wouldn't be surprised. But so can the Rams. I already talked about the Rams. Matthew Stafford having an MVP season. But you know who we're not talking about? The Niners. Purdy was hurt throughout the year, and they just kept on winning. So they got 11 wins right now. They're going to make the playoffs. And again, I don't know who wants to play a Shanahan team. So the 49ers, who nobody's talking about, could also win the Super Bowl. Even after losing Tebow, they are legit too. That defense is unreal. They got Salah back, and he's doing his thing as a defensive coordinator. That defense is legit. So who wants to play the 49ers in the playoffs? I don't know. I don't think anybody does. So ranking the NFC, I think the top 3 are going to be the NFC teams. I think the Eagles are probably the 4th best team right now, honestly, even as the defending champs. That will be the top 4 to me. Maybe the Bears sneak up in there somewhere. The Bears just beat the Packers. By the way, big time win for the Bears. Caleb Williams, I've talked about Caleb Williams. All right. I've said he's inconsistent. I said, Jaden's probably taking Jaden over Caleb Williams. But Jaden Daniels been hurt this year. True. But Caleb Williams has also stepped up. Caleb Williams is actually looking like a real quarterback. Ben Johnson actually fixed him. Ben Johnson has made it so that Caleb Williams doesn't feel like he has to play hero ball every snap. That's all it is. Just hit the small joint in front of you. Take the easy play, man. And he's making more consistently. He's making the simple pass, the easy read, across the middle, like the easy outs. Like he's getting more accurate doing the basic stuff. And like I've said so many times, and Tom Brady has reiterated consistently on his broadcast, like the great quarterbacks just do the basic stuff so well. And then at the end of the game, when you need him to be hero, then Caleb Williams is hero. He can be a hero against the Packers throwing a freaking dart down the field to DJ Moore. Like, that's what you need, right? You get into position, and then when you need the hero play, you make the hero play. That's top quality quarterback. So I give Caleb Williams credit. He's gone from, spinning around and doing all this crazy stuff. Throughout the year, he progressed into, I'm going to consistently make the regular play, the play that's not going to make the highlights, is the basic out, the basic in cut, over the middle, the basic slants, be consistent in hitting those. And then when you need the hero ball play, you need the play that has a 0.1% of succeeding, and he makes it. Like that throw at the end of the game, like that is a big time throw. Nobody could throw that ball any more perfect than that. Perfect pass. So shout out to Caleb Williams, shout out to Ben Johnson for Chicago being a legit team now. Like, that's a really good team. Now, I know Jordan Love got hurt, but the Packers were still in the game. Packers probably should have won that game. But Caleb Williams showed out. And throughout the year, as I watched them, he's gotten better, more consistent at just hitting the regular basic stuff. Less highlight plays, less spinning around and doing all these things, which he can still do. And we're not saying don't do. We're not saying stop making highlight plays, Caleb Williams, because sometimes we need him. But he's gotten so much better at just hitting the basic stuff that is a sign of a great quarterback. Just hit the basic stuff, man. And then every once in a while, when we need the spectacular, go be spectacular. Go be great. And right now, he's doing that. So, yeah, Chicago found themselves a quarterback. Ben Johnson obviously worked with this cat a lot. So Chicago's good too. So maybe it's the 3 NFC West teams. It's Philly is Chicago. Top 5. Detroit, who we thought was going to be good. Injury bug got them. They're probably going to miss the playoffs. So it's really those teams, I would think. NFC West, I don't talk about them because Tampa Bay is mid, very mid to below average, really. And there's nobody else in that division. Carolina, I lied. Shout out to Carolina. Despite beginning of the season looking like it was going to be another trash season, they actually look good. They're actually a decent team. They're not going to win anything. They're not. All right? Tampa Bay, Carolina, you could throw them all in the same bucket. They're not going to win anything. But shout out to Carolina for actually putting together a really good season when nobody thought they would, including me. I thought they were going to be picking first, second this season, and they're not. So the NFC West, again, top 3 teams, NFC West teams, Seahawks, Rams, 49ers. Then we're going to run it with Eagles. Then we're going to run it with the Bears. That'd be my top 5. I know I gave you 4 for the AFC. I'm going to give you 5 for the NFC. But the NFC, I'll be surprised if one of the NFC teams don't take it, y'all. I really will. All 3 of those teams look really good. All 3 are complete. Like, even more complete than the Eagles. I know the Eagles have won a couple games, and people are like, ooh, Jalen Hurts is back. Last couple of games, they haven't really played anybody, as far as I can tell. All right, one last thing on the NFL. Shedeur Sanders has reached his megastar box office. You're going to talk about him one way or another phase. He's probably actually been there from the very beginning, to be honest with you. If y'all remember Tebow Mania, people talked about Tim Tebow, whether he won or he lost. Whether he played great, whether he played great, which was seldom, or he played sorry, which was often. But Tebow won a lot of games. A lot is in quotes. But he won enough to the point where he'll be sorry for 58 minutes, and for 2 minutes, he'll do some crazy magic stuff and win the game. And it was Tebow Mania. But with Tim Tebow, you either had a hate or you love. Same thing with LeBron. You either hate or love LeBron. Most people aren't in the middle. There is no middle ground. Shedeur Sanders is either you hate him or you love him. But I'm going to give you the middle ground. The middle ground is actually Shedeur Sanders can actually play quarterback in this NFL. Shedeur Sanders actually deserves another year at quarterback for the Browns. Why? Because we have seen way worse quarterbacks than Shedeur get a year or 2 to prove themselves in the NFL. Way worse quarterbacks. Tebow kept getting chants over and over again, talking about the man on every morning sports show, even though he struggled throwing forward passes. But, Tebow Mania. He won games. He's a winner. No, he had a legit defense. That's why they kept winning games. That kept them in the game. Shedeur Sanders, again, I don't know if he's going to be a great quarterback. I don't know. My gut tells me probably not. But I do know he can actually play. And he deserves a shot on a better team. If the Browns can somehow get better weapons around him, get an O-line, he deserves a shot to prove himself. Like Daniel Jones, for what it's worth, Daniel Jones I thought was the worst starting quarterback I had ever seen over an extended period of time. Daniel Jones could get in season after season after season in New York. And I don't think Shedeur has looked as bad as Daniel Jones looked in New York. And then Daniel Jones goes to Indianapolis, and where he gets protected, he has a running game. He actually looks like a decent quarterback. There's nothing I could see from Shedeur that tells me he can't have that kind of route, that kind of career arc, where if you surround him with a pretty good team, he can actually play. Now you have people, again, love him or hate him, people who are like, he shouldn't even be in the league. He's only there because of his last name, because of his pops. I'm like, no, I think he could probably be in the mix for, starter, maybe not Super Bowl winning starter, but who knows? But he could be a starter on the right team. Definitely a backup. But in the right situation, probably a quality starter. He deserves a shot. Shedeur deserves a shot as a starter for the Browns next year. Plus, there's nobody coming out this year at quarterback who we're like, ooh, the Browns got to go get. So they're probably stuck with them anyway. They probably have no choice. So get him some weapons. They got Judy. They got Njoku. Maybe surround him with better weapons. Surround him with a better offensive line, because when he's protected, he can actually throw the ball. He gets in trouble, one, when the pass rush is too quick. His reaction time's not there yet. He's a rookie. He gets in trouble when he has to hold on to the ball, pressure in his face. Again, he's a rookie. But because of who he is, nobody's going to give him a fair chance. He's either, man, this guy's going to be great, or man, this guy sucks. He don't deserve to be in the league. And I'm going to give you the take that's not going to, that's not going to be like a social media, friendly take. I'm going to give you a take that's not very social media friendly. Shedeur Sanders can actually play. I don't know if he's going to be great, but he's definitely not a scrub like people are trying to say. And he deserves another chance. He deserves a chance with some talent around him. Keep him off the ground. Give him some time to throw and see what he got with dudes who can get open. Way worse quarterbacks have gotten a chance in the league than Shedeur. Multiple chances. That's all I'm going to say. So this one's not going to go viral. It ain't. It's not a social media. It's not a viral take. But Shedeur deserves another shot. All right, let's NBA real quick to close it out. This one probably might get some comments on social media. Anthony Edwards is the best player in the NBA. Yeah, there. I said it, man. My eyes tell me Anthony Edwards is actually the best player in the NBA. I said it a couple years ago. This cat is in the Jordan, Kobe Bryant mode. He is gifted. In fact, Anthony Edwards physically is more gifted than Kobe. He is. His bounce is higher. His shot can be better if he continues to work on it. But what he's lacking is the mentality, the Mamba mentality that Kobe had at such a young age. But when you watch Anthony Edwards, it's hard to find anybody watching the game, not stats, not computer geeks, watching the game. There is not a player in the league who's better than Anthony Edwards, except for this. He's not consistent. That's his problem. Anthony Edwards is kind of like football. Those of us who watch football, been watching football, he's kind of like Randy Moss. Randy Moss is the best receiver to play in the NFL. But his stats don't say it because he didn't go 100% all the time, right? People say he only ran one route. So people are going to say Jerry Rice, and Jerry Rice had the nasty stats, was the best receiver. But when you watch Randy Moss play, they had to put 2-3 cats on this cat. You're like, yo, Randy Moss is the most talented receiver, the best receiver the NFL has ever seen. But Randy, as great as he was, didn't apply himself 100% of the time. He didn't. Same thing with Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards can be the best player in the NBA. But I don't know if he's focused enough. He has the mentality to get serious about being the best player. I'm going to dominate this team day in and day out. But the eye test tells you Anthony Edwards is the best player in the NBA. When you watch, I don't know if you guys watched this game against the Thunder. Against the Thunder, the way he closed that game out, that was some Jordan Game 6 NBA Finals type of stuff, the way he closed that game out. 30-something seconds left in the game. He pins SGA against the backboard, comes down, hits a big three. Few seconds later, he's stripping SGA. He goes defense, offense, defense. There is no one else in the league doing that. That sequence of block, pinned you against the backboard. He pinned the MVP against the backboard. That sequence of block, three-pointer, strip against the MVP, no one's doing that. Yeah, I've said the Joker is the best player in the league, man, but the Joker's not playing defense. And we've gotten to the point, we've gotten so far into the NBA where offense dominates so much that we don't even care if a cat doesn't play defense like that. So the Joker is the best player in the league because it's such an offensive-oriented league. But, man, the Joker is not playing defense like that. He's not blocking a shot, turning around, stealing the ball. He ain't doing that. Luka damn sure ain't doing that. You can have the triple-doubles, right? You can have the 40-point games, but game on the line because they were down. Timberwolves are down. Dude comes down, make an extremely tough step-back three. He pins the MVP. He strips the MVP. That is like I said, that's a Jordan sequence right there against the Jazz in the finals. Jordan went layup, steal, jump shot, right? But this sequence here, let me read it to you. They were down 107-109. All right? Sorry. They were down 107-108. 107-105, sorry. They were down 107-105. Ant goes step back three, bang. 108-107 Minnesota. 32 seconds left. Shea drives for a layup. Ant pins him. Boom. 11 seconds left. Or I should say, yeah. Let me see. End of the game. 1 second left. Ant strips him. So the sequence is actually this. They're down 105-107. Ant makes a nasty step back three. Bang. Defense. 32 seconds left. Ant pins the MVP against the backboard. Oh, you ain't had enough? Come back, trying to win the game. Ant strips him. Strips SGA. No one else in the league is doing that. No one's doing that, bro. No one's doing tough step back three, block the man against the backboard, pick his pockets, take his cookies. No one else in the league is doing that like that. No other superstar. But the problem with Ant, he doesn't do that. He doesn't do that consistently. He's not locked in all the time. When Anthony Edwards is locked in, like he is the best player in the game, man, because he does it both sides of the ball. That's what my eyes tell me, man. And the league better hope that Ant never takes it seriously. And I will be upset if Ant doesn't become best player in the game. I will be mad. Like Vince Carter, great career, Hall of Famer. Vince Carter was probably physically more talented than Kobe. But Kobe's mindset was just on a different level. I need Ant, if you hear this, if you're listening, Anthony Edwards, you can be best in the game, bro. You can do stuff that nobody else in the game can do. You really can. Offensively unstoppable. If he just refines his game. I know on the broadcast they talked about him working on his post game. Great. I've been saying that for a couple years now. If Anthony Edwards decides to get serious, he decides, I'm going to take over this league. I'm going to be the best, right? Kobe Bryant was driven to be the best in the league. Michael Jordan was driven to be the best in the league. I'm going to win every game. I'm going to take your heart out. If Anthony Edwards ever develops this mindset of Kobe Bryant, of Michael Jordan, I'm just going to be the best and I'm going to dominate my opponent every single game all the time, there is nothing stopping this cat. Because there is not a single other person in the NBA right now who can do what he just did the other night to SGA. No other person is going to go step back three, bang, pin Shea, strip him to end the game. Ain't no one doing that. Shea is more precise. He's more refined offensively. But Ant can work on his game to get there. Luka scores a lot of points. He plays no defense. Joker does his things with the stats. He gets his assists. And I've admitted that he's probably the best in the game right now. But I've seen the Joker go up against guys who are great at his position, namely Joel Embiid, and get absolutely torn apart by Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid tore up, when he was healthy a couple years ago, tore up the Joker to pieces. But then I turn around and watch Anthony Edwards clamp down the MVP. Essentially the same position. That brother can be the best player in the game if he puts his mind to it. If he's satisfied as being top 5, top 10 player, then it is what it is. If he's satisfied. But if Anthony Edwards ever decides to take basketball seriously, seriously, like I'm going to dominate every night. If Anthony Edwards decides, I'm on this one, I'm that guy. Ain't nothing stopping him from being best in the game. Like, that sequence to me tells me all I need to know. Shea ain't athletic enough to do that. SGA cannot pull off what SGA just did to him. SGA ain't going step back three, block, strip. He ain't. He can't. Ant got a special set of skills. And he's great as he is. He's great as he is. But if he ever develops a mindset to take it to the moon, I'm going to be the best ever. Ain't nothing stopping this kid from taking over this league and running it. It really ain't. And I'll be upset if he doesn't do it. Saddest thing in life is wasted talent, and I hope he doesn't waste his. All right, y'all, I'm going to leave it there. Appreciate y'all hanging out. As always, don't forget to check out the website. Like, subscribe, share, tell a friend, and tell a friend, and tell a friend. Let's keep the party going. Hope you guys have a great week. New Year's coming up. Be safe out there. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Mike, sports and the real shit. Y'all be good. Peace.
I'm going straight to the top. Just put the stack on the clock. I am Ray Allen's a shot. I'm going straight to the top.